$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. Yeah, I'm gonna put this aside, something like that. And welcome back to another episode of Jeep Talk. In this Jeep Talk, we're going to discuss who sets the standards for what you consider as success. Man, I'm going to be eating during this thing too because the brother's hungry. Got my, real quick, before I stop, I want to make a mess. Got my, egg and cheese sandwich from the Poppy store. You know how to go. You know how that go. So, just dropped the son off at school, headed to work. If you guys got any questions you want to ask about anything, let me know. Just ask them. This will be your time to ask me questions. As you guys know, it's Wednesday, and I am going to Barranquilla on Saturday morning. So we'll do a lot. We probably won't do a Jeep Talks Friday. We will probably instead do a live video from the house on the computer. Simply because Friday I gotta stay up all night so that I can catch this 5 o'clock in the morning flight to Barranquilla. It's right here. Is that if you're from the urban area, I think, or it's Calypso drink, it's that crack, but it's diabetes in the bottle, y'all. It's diabetes in the bottle, y'all. I'm just giving some people some time to come in before we start the combo. I know the first 5 minutes we just get situated, and I get my bites to eat, my bites of food. Hold on. But remember, I'm just telling you guys. On hold up. On Friday there won't be a Jeep Talk. I appreciate it. Hold on, give me those. Barks, what up? I appreciate it. Jay Brad, salute. So yeah. So I want to give them 2 more minutes to get in here because I know sometimes it takes notifications. A lot of people don't be here on the early morning, but at 5 minutes, we'll start the conversation. Man, it's gonna be a hot one today, y'all. I feel like no more shorts with 73-year-old women. Or we going on strike? Nah, hey, chicken burrito. It was just funny to me that it looked like she had a BBL. It was hilarious to me. It looked like she had a BBL. That thing was poking, yo. That thing was poking. Crazy, bro. 73, that shit was poking. Man, oh man. But you know, now that I don't have to, well, I never really had to before, but hold on. I feel like it's going to be part of the Deem sex though. We're going to start talking soon. Oh, he's eating the same thing. Oh, that's crazy. Pause. All right, y'all. Let's get into it, man. 5 minutes and hurt. They'll catch it on replay. Since birth, we Harley, what's going on, man? Sin City in the building, bro. Get some healthier food options in the morning. Health is wealth. Health is definitely wealth. When you're in a rush, it's a little bit difficult, but hopefully Sin City will start posting them gym pictures again, and it'll inspire us not to eat something unhealthy. That's sometimes I wake up in the morning, I see I got 5 minutes. And we wake up in the morning. I see Sin post a picture in the gym at Planet Fitness. Now, I know I'm not going to Planet Fitness, but it does make me pick a healthier choice to eat sometimes. I and Cal guy, what's going on? So since a kid, right? Since kids, we've always been told what should be considered success by our parents, by our grandparents, and by the television or whatever media you watch. Basically, we've been told what is deemed as being successful in this world. The sad part is that it's not till we become adults till we realize that, well, that some of us don't realize it, but it's not until we become adults that we realize that what we truly consider successful might not be what we was taught is successful. And I think that causes a big clash in a lot of people. And for some people, they're never able to mix what they were taught is success and what is success. And they become miserable just trying to reach the level as everyone else, and it doesn't fit them. When I was growing up, let's speak with me. When I was growing up, it was a big emphasis on going to college and getting a degree. And, that was the first level of success. And for me, I never really liked school. I never really liked school. I just was extremely good at numbers. I've been gifted and talented. I could have skipped 2 grades. I decided my mother luckily decided not to. I never deemed school to be something that would benefit me in the future once I got to high school and I knew, hey, all this stuff that I'm doing right now, I'm never going to use after I graduate. I'm never going to use science to the level of science that I use after graduating. I'm never going to use the history of the medieval times, whatever. I'm never going to use none of that. And I was like, it doesn't make no sense for me to learn this stuff. I graduated from high school and went directly into college, y'all. Because in my head, at one point, I thought college was the first level of success. Now, I only went to a 2-year college, and yes, I did graduate eventually. But going directly from high school into college was it was cool. It kept me out of some trouble, but it was a waste of time. I've done nothing with the college. Everybody say, "Oh yeah, but you use it in life." I've done nothing with the college. With the college degree? Nothing. In accounting, nothing. I didn't try to take a course. Didn't want to do none of that. But it did make me feel good that I got it because it helped. It made my grandparents feel good and my mother feel good. But for me, that's not what I deem as success. I want to bring that into YouTube. A lot of people deem success on YouTube to be getting millions of views or a lot of subscribers or a million views, a lot of subscribers, because that's what YouTube sometimes or most of the time shows you what they want people to get. I want you to have a million view video. I want you to have 100,000 subscribers, 500, a million subscribers, and that becomes what people, the same way our parents taught us to see success through the lens of getting a college degree. On YouTube, YouTube is teaching us to see success as gaining followers and gaining attention. But sometimes what you have to do for the attention is not worth it. At least for me. If I have to, and this is me, not speaking about anybody, this is mine. If I have to embarrass people or talk bad about my friends or talk bad about family to attract attention, for me, that's not something I can call success. Because how you get your Jeep, another Jeep, how you get your success, to me, is more important than getting the success. Because I don't consider getting $1 million successful if I had to rob some old lady for $1 million. If I had to steal $1 million from a bunch of kids' college funds. So I think people should really decide what they consider to be successful and not base it on what others consider to be successful. Because to measure success by someone else's standards only makes you end up miserable. I see somebody said something good. Yo, dog, what's going on? What up, James? Jet said it, Mac. You should measure success by happiness. If you're happy, you are successful. I like that idea, but I would say it has to be a long-term happiness. For example, let me give you an example. It has to be. I think it doesn't have to be a long-term happiness. It should be. Sorry, a happiness that can last for a while. For example, if I measure success by buying a new car, and I really want a new car, and I buy that new car, and now I feel successful, but then I can't afford the payments. The car is stopping me from doing stuff in my life like that I want to do, like traveling or taking my children places, because now I have to work more to afford this car. I'm not quite sure if I would, to myself, and again, this is all individual, would consider that being a success. Because at the end of the day, the success, the temporary happiness doesn't lead to long-term happiness. And I believe that the objective of life, in my perspective, is to be happy in a long-term aspect, not just for the moment. And I don't know if I would consider that success. I gotta think more into that. I feel like a lot of people, they'll feel like, another example. We just give examples now. You guys can ask any questions you want. This is on the way to work. Jeep Talks episode 6. What do you deem as successful? A lot of people, let's say, they want to get the baddest woman in the world. They want to be intimate with or be in a relationship with one of the most attractive women they've ever seen. If the relationship that you have with that woman is only temporary, depending on what you want, is it really success? Are you really successful in what you achieved? For example, me, I don't want a relationship. I don't want a long-term relationship because I'm focused on myself. I'm focused on enjoying my life to the maximum that I'm giving. So for me, going overseas, whether you pay or whether you don't pay, and getting a woman who's going to show me a great time, like I'm going to do this weekend, is a success. But for someone who wants to be married, who wants to be in a relationship, who wants to be with, and it's going to mess up here, you know, the time it gets messed up, who wants to be with somebody for the rest of their, find love with for the rest of their life, going overseas, if you're not able to stay there and consistently date that woman, it don't matter who you find, that's not going to be a success. That's the same temporary happiness as if you got that car. If you got that car and you was happy for a little bit, and then the bills caught up, you couldn't afford the car took away from other stuff that you could do in your life. That's the same as a person who goes overseas expecting to find love. Find someone they can fall in love with, but you can't consistently stay overseas, and you can't afford to bring her back. So now, is that really success? Are you really successful at what you're trying to do if going overseas is not something you can do consistently? the measure of happiness that can only last for a minute, can only last for a month, can only last for a day. To me, and this is has to be something that Ice City real quick in the room. I was watching Ice City Live the other day, right? And on Ice City Live, he was in Thailand, right? And he was sitting there, and it was kind of like a retrospective in my mind. It was like a retrospective thought where he was like looking back on his life, like, damn, now that I know about this experience in Thailand, right? How can I make this a long-term thing? Now it changes your mind about everything you do in what you thought was success in the States. It's my opinion. Ice City can speak more. It changes your mind. Like, for example, when you find that place, let's just talk about just that one Thailand. But when you find that place or you find that moment that you're like, damn, I'd rather be able to live here and live a great life than to go back home and spend money on stuff that I thought made me successful back in the day. Because now I know a feeling that I didn't know before. And I think your level of what you consider being success, with the level of what you consider being success, is going to change over time. Yes, it's going to change over time with the more knowledge that you make available to yourself. It's just going to change over time. But you have to be open. That's the most important thing. You got to be open to not basing your success on what other people think is successful. That's the worst thing you can do, I think, in your life, is live your life based on what other people think is the right way or wrong way to live, or what other people think makes you a success. And I think because us millennials are now sharing this knowledge with the Gen Z and the Gen X and the Gen Alpha that comes after us, I think they're going to have an easier time finding what really, though there's no disrespect to our elders, so our parents were so locked into the system of what we have in the United States, and I can only speak for the United States, that they force fed us the information that they had on what was deemed to be successful in the life that we should follow. And then if we did not follow that life, sometimes it came off as our parents being disappointed at us because we didn't follow the life that they felt was successful. And that, I think, is the most difficult thing to fight. It is. In my mind, I think the most difficult thing to fight is, and I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Unfortunately, I believe that a lot of us, at least millennials, a lot of us deem success by how we please our parents. And I think that is the biggest mistake that parents can make. I don't know if anybody has children here, but everybody's had some kind of form of parent or guardian. I feel like the mistake in determining what's successful to you is when our parents put us in a place where we have to feel like we have to please them, like we have to live the life that they want for us versus the life that we want to live for ourselves. I was lucky enough where my parents didn't do this as much. Of course, they still did it, but my grandfather, my mother, my grandmothers, they didn't do that as much as far as forcing me to. Of course, the college thing was something they did push forward, but they didn't do that much. But I'm trying, me personally, and you guys can ask any questions y'all want. This is Jeep Talk episode 6. Me personally, in raising my son and my daughter, I tried to tell them, hey, this is what I did. Yes, I did YouTube. You don't have to do YouTube. My daughter doesn't like to do YouTube. Cool. My son, he's getting the feeling where he wants to be on video and stuff. Cool. I did finance. I worked this. This is what I did, showing you it's a way. But this is not the only way. And the Flyboy way is not the only way. It's just a way to help you find your way. And that's why I tell my kids, I tell them, hey, I don't want you to have to live up to any standards that you think I set for you. Just because I became a millionaire doesn't mean you got to become a millionaire. Just because I'm able to retire early doesn't mean you have to be able to retire early. Because when you do that, I think you limit the happiness of your children. I'm gonna get to y'all messages now. I'm gonna see a lot of y'all messages. Let me see. We got that one. The big Euro stepper in the building. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. You have to get to the level of contentment. I can read that just you know, a little difficult now. Where you are content with the life you made and the choices you have made. Here's the thing about that big stepper, big Euro, my fault, big stepper. Here's about that big Euro. And we talked about the Adam and Eve theory yesterday, so I don't want to get too much deeper to that. Being content with the choices you made are only as good as the choices that you know. As you begin, and this is the same thing I said about the ICE speech, as you begin to learn more about life, like Euro, if I'm calling Euro, you just started traveling and getting into the whole travel international thing, I believe, right? As you begin to learn more about life, the issue is what you feel content with, you are no longer content with. Like, dog, going to nightclubs in New Jersey and partying and having a bunch of women over and having house parties with a bunch of women, knocking down a bunch of women, driving nice cars, all that was sweet. I thought that was it. I had achieved the match. I was like 21 at this time. I got my first car on 22s at 20 years old. I had a car on 22s when it was popping back in Mike Jones days. I had a car on 22s at 20. I was beating the block. I was beating down the drug dealer sisters who were the baddest chick on the block, and I was young. Another Jeep. I was young. And I thought I was content with that. I'm like, yo, I can live like this forever. Next Beamer, Benz, Hellcat, all this stuff. I can live like this forever. If you look back at my old videos, and this is the best part of my channel, you can always go back and watch these videos. TVs. I had 5 TVs in my car, yo. 5. Come on, bro. I had 5 TVs and a PlayStation in my car. At 22 or 23, something like that. I had 5 TVs and a PlayStation in my car, in one car. The next car had the 22s, blue, all that stuff. And I was content with that until I went internationally. And I was like, oh, shoot. This world is so much bigger. Matter of fact, even before I went to internationally, when I went to Florida and I went down for BCR Black College Reunion in Daytona Beach, I was like, wait a minute. It's bigger than this, man. And the more you learn, it changes up what you feel content with, in my mind. Just to the Mac, you achieving the car was a success. Now you maintaining the car will be your goals that you will have to set. If you achieve them, you're successful. Achieving the car was success. It was okay, I can see that. But having to maintain your success. Okay, so we're separating success versus successful, and I can understand that. We're separating success versus successful. Success is just a temporary thing. Being successful is okay. I can get that. I can dig with that. I say yes, it is. Facts. Words weapon. Flyboy. What do you call a person who is 38 years old, still living with his mother, but invests in crypto and travels, no kids, wife, consider them a loser? I would need a lot more details. I wouldn't consider anybody a loser, really, but in the sense of, are they not reaching their capacity, what they can do? I would have to consider a lot of things. One, is their mother able to live alone? Because a lot of us have mothers who aren't able to consistently live alone. Or does she need help financially because of whatever reason? Maybe she has an injury or something. Is he or she that lives at home, the 38-year-old, do they have something that's mentally not right with them? There's a lot of things to consider. Also, the standard, I think, because here's the thing, and then I gotta bring it up a little bit, y'all. I gotta bring race up a little bit. White people don't do this, where we feel as though our children have to be out the house by a certain time, or we deem success about you being out your parents' house at a certain time. That's not really for everybody. And also, in this era, it's so much more difficult. I was able to get out of my so I was able to move out my house and move out my grandparents' house and get my own spot at 18. I don't put that on anyone else, because this time is this era that we live in is completely different. Everybody's not going to feel comfortable with getting a roommate and living with their roommate and splitting the bills, having to fight with the roommate, having to kick one roommate out, bring another roommate in. Everyone's not going to be comfortable with that. And sometimes it's a better investment just to stay home and build your money, so maybe the first thing you get is a house. So I don't know, he invested in crypto, you said, so he actually has some idea of what he wants to do. Travels, so she's getting a different mindset, and they have no kids at 38 or wife. If anything, they should financially be placed someplace where a lot of people aren't, because everything that you mentioned doesn't say I have big responsibilities. Now, failure to launch, whether they want to leave or not, maybe they're stuck to their mother. Hey, that's a personality trait. But as far as success, I wouldn't call them a loser, not at all. Is what the other races are setting out to achieve. Is what the other races are setting out to achieve. I don't know what you, let me see, Ardo, what'd you say the first time? I don't know what you meant by that. Harvey, what's going on? Stevie's Bad TV. You don't please your parents, you make them proud. That's a difference. But that's the same thing though. Like, making your parents proud means I'm doing something, a lot of times means that you're doing something that they consider worth the pride. Now, for example, if I wanted to play football my whole life, but my parents said, no, I don't want you to play football, I want you to be a doctor, they probably won't see pride in me being a football player, especially if I don't make it to the NFL, if I only make it to the rugby leagues, or a basketball player, if I don't make it to the NBA and I just make it to street ball. They won't see pride in that. They may not feel proud. So I don't know if I still would say that that is the biggest mistake that I think a lot of parents made in the generations before us millennials, of forcing or putting the pressure on your kid or your child to be successful. I had to put something up for y'all. Putting the pressure on your child to be successful by what your standards are as a parent. I think that was a big mistake. I could be wrong, whatever. The best friend ever. Salute to the bros from Charlotte. Charlotte in the building. What's going on? I ain't been down there in a minute, y'all. I wanted to get down there for CIT. But man, it was wild last time I seen it. Big Euro. He said, you speaking facts though, because what I know now, all the choices I made in the last 2 years feel foolish as hell. And it's still a lesson that we gotta learn. It is still a lesson that we have to learn. So it's not like I would never, bro, what you doing, bro? I would never say regret anything. Don't ever regret anything. Don't ever regret anything. Learn from your, and I don't even call it a mistake. It's just a learning process. I wouldn't even call it a mistake. Words of Weapon says, what made you travel at a young age? Alright, so at a young age, we didn't have, when I was younger, AOL had just came out. We didn't have this social media where we seen everybody doing everything. We didn't have access to YouTube where we could actually see something that the media is not focusing in our mind. So growing up in East Orange and Newark, New Jersey, all I seen was drug dealers, crackheads, cops, firemen, police. I don't know what's the police. And people who play sports. That's all that they told us we could be when I was growing up where I was at. They didn't say, oh, you could be a real estate agent. They didn't say, real estate investor. They didn't say, oh, you could be a traveler. There wasn't no digital nomad. There wasn't none of this stuff when I was growing up. And I was always been the rebellious type. So I said I gotta learn more about everything, but you can't learn more if you're stuck in your hood. You can't. It's impossible. I don't say it's impossible for a lot of stuff. It is impossible to learn more from somebody from the hood if you can't see it for your own eyes. It's impossible. It is impossible. So I couldn't just stay in North New Jersey and grow a thing. So the first thing was I went to 9 schools in 12 years, so I moved around a lot. And I got to see different lifestyles. Whether I lived in East Orange, whether I lived in Newark, whether I went to school in Montclair, whether I lived in Irvington, New Jersey, that was just New Jersey. Then I found out about BCR, Black College Union, at 18, and I went down to Florida. And Florida showed me a whole different world. So then I did that for 3 years because I thought that was everything too. And I said, hey, you know how some people go to a new place and say, oh, this is the best place to go because it's new to them? Well, I learned this. I learned how that is not the right way to do it at 1920. So after like 3 years of Florida, I said I need to try something new. So I started traveling all around America. And so it wasn't like I just went to, oh, I'm gonna go internationally and see how it is. No, I had to build up strength and courage to do this stuff. And it started with first just traveling around my own area, going for different schools in different cities, then going to New York, and then going to different, then going to Florida, then going to different places around the United States, now going around the world. And I, during my travels, realized that I'm going to keep traveling and keep learning new ways because I want to show people other options that we were never given growing up. Well, I was never given growing up as a millennial. Never given any options. And it's still more options than more than travel. But yeah, that's why I started traveling. Of course, you can add on to that. A lot of people were dying that I knew. A lot of people were going to jail. My friends were getting gun charges. So that also made me, look for something to do. R. White, do you see being married as successful or having multiple chicks as better? I don't see marriage as success. And I don't see having multiple chicks as success. What I see as success is having the option to do what you want while you're on earth without having to answer to somebody else. Yes, if I get married, my wife may let me sleep with other women. She may let me travel overseas, but it's not likely. And even in the swinger couples, when they do that, if I get tired of my wife and I want time away from her, I can't do that. Because if I do, then I'm risking getting a divorce in the United States and losing my income, which will then stop me from being able to do and explore my options. So I don't think either one, as far as being married or having multiple chicks, is one better than the other. I think leaving your options open so you don't have to only have one commitment is the best way to live. For me, what I deem success is having the most options. And money a lot of times has to be part of it because your money will limit your options. Freedom of not having a wife will limit your options. So, I mean, yes, if I want that girlfriend experience where it's me and my girl and we're sitting there for a little bit, I can have that girlfriend experience. I can find a woman and play that role for a little bit. But then when I'm done, I'm done. We have no marriage, no commitment. I tell her the truth. I tell her how it is. When I'm done, I'm done. I'm free. I can go. When it's something I don't like, I'll stick around. When it's something I'll stick around. But if I'm done, I'm done, and I don't have to leave with nothing. So I think options are definitely what I think. Options are freedom. Options are freedom, and being free, you find a lot of success. The big Euro stepper. A loser is someone who ain't doing nothing regardless of situation. I wouldn't say that. If you're still trying to move or still trying to push, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say that. The reason why I would say that big Euro is because I understand mental illness. Also, I wouldn't say that is because if you don't know options, if you don't have any options, you was born in a place where no one ever gave you any options, how can I expect you to know better? How can I judge you for being a quote unquote loser if you was never given the options that everybody else is given? I got an option. I had an option to travel. Yes, I didn't come from the wealthiest family, but my family was stable. You know, I didn't have a father. Yes, my mother was in and out of the mental institution my whole life, but when she was home, things were stable. When she wasn't home, my grandparents there, things were stable. I had a stability. Now, somebody who don't have that same stability, if they wasn't able to achieve what I can achieve, and they just felt like they got to sit in a house all day and not do nothing but play video games, but that's what they need to do to keep their mental right, I can never call them a loser. I can never call them a loser. It would be beneath me, man, because I understand you are only as good as the options you're given or have opportunity to find out. And a lot of us aren't given the opportunity to find out a lot of options, y'all. Let me see. Graven Beach, what's going on? Facts. Lovely Banjo, what's going on? You guys still see me? A little clear, but I was talking about the generational wealth. Do you see married as being successful or having multiple children as better? Oh, for generational wealth. All right, so it is easier to I can't even say it's easier now because we don't know. I can't even say it's easier to have children with one woman and be married than to have children abroad in other countries and just be able to build there. I can't even say it's easier because I don't know what everybody defines as easy. Yeah, that wouldn't be something I can add. Tupac. Jose, what up, bro? How you doing? Much love. Be more in the building. Be more bounce in the building. What's going on, Jose? You left at 18. How much was rent? Shoot. When I y'all got me showing my age, y'all. Y'all know I'm 39 years old. When I left at 18, yo, this is crazy, son. This is crazy, yo. When I left the house at 18, rent was, I was 18 turning 19, but I was 18. Rent was $850 for a 2-bedroom. This is why I say I don't expect people to do it now. In New Jersey, rent was $850 for a 2-bedroom. Minimum wage was $7.50 an hour. Rent right now for a 2-bedroom in the same New Jersey place is $2,000 minimum. It's only 21 years later. It's only 21 years later, and rent is now $2,000 at least at the bottom for a 2-bedroom in the same place. So again, I don't expect the 18-year-olds of today to be able to do what I did. And I wouldn't call them a loser because they don't. Or the 20-year-olds, or even the 24-year-olds. By 30 years, by 25, you should be on the way out. But 24, yeah, I don't expect that. Clayway TV, what's going on? Cousin Justin, what it do? Grab, we appreciate the content, advice, and feedback. Man, I just want to show everybody we got options, y'all. We got freaking options, bro. This is possible. I can talk to a bunch of people in Baltimore, in New Jersey, in Cincinnati, and well, I don't know where you be all over the place. But we have this availability to do something that we never had as kids. A lot of us that was born in the 80s never had this as a kid. Some people in the 90s didn't have this as a kid. So we got to maximize this while we can, because we never know if it could be gone. Terrence Hill, what's going on? Good morning, Flyboy. Just curious, can you get equipment and filming equipment from China? Yes, of course. A lot of the stuff is made in China. We just get it shipped through here. The issue with me getting equipment in China is, depending on what it is, I wouldn't want to get it from China because I want to be able to take it back to the store if something goes wrong. So whereas I might get an SD card from China, I won't get my Osmo Pocket 3 from China because I want to be able to give it back, or if something goes wrong. Keeping a Euro step, a big thing. That's my opinion. I think a lot of people agree, but keeping your options open is definitely the key to freedom. It's definitely the key to success. For us, by us, Best I do or die. Can I? What's going on, man? Baby alive. I'm 5. Oh wow, that's crazy. Oh, good. We got to the end. Good. We got to the end. All right. Good job. Good job. We got to the end, and I got to get into work. So, um, nah, rent went up big time. Yo, again, that's why you. That's why I wouldn't set my. Hold on a second. That's why I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that a person. My kids would never have to recreate what I did. But I gotta try to make it so that they can, and that's why each of them have a house when I go, because bro, I don't even know, they changing so much. It's crazy, man. They changing so much. Hey, where you been, Swale? All right. Rent went up. Everything went up, man. Again, if you guys get time, just go on YouTube and look at the price. Yeah. Look at the price of inflation. Look at the price of how it's one of these. Look at any one of those videos that show you how the wage stayed the same or went up. Like the wages went up 100%, but everything else went up 1,000%. And you'll understand why you can't you shouldn't call somebody a loser or judge their success based on where you were able to achieve and where they're able to achieve, because it's two different worlds right now. Two different worlds. But that was episode 6, Jeep Talk. What do you deem as successful? Success shouldn't be deemed by what someone else says is successful. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel, and I'll see you on the next Jeep Talk. Peace.